Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the WEMAG Show. And I'm excited to welcome Leeta Harlem, my guest on the show. And she has so much to talk about, right? About her business, what she does. What I love most is the fact that she does so many things. She has many different hats. She is an author, event coordinator, speaker, founder of Keep the Box, and My Natural Me Woman. Okay. Now, Leeta, please tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. I am honored to be here on your platform and just sharing a little bit of what I do. I truly believe we all have to support each other. So thank you for having me on your show. A little bit about me. So as you mentioned, I have my business, Keep the Box and My Natural Me. And I'm also an author. So this year I published my first two books. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so to a quick catch up, because you know how it goes. You can kind of go, it can get long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, so I always had the feeling of wanting to empower other women and support other women. And about a decade ago, actually a little longer than that, I had started a nonprofit business. I had went through an abusive relationship, and when I left that, I was really lost and really depressed, but I wanted to make it mean something. And so I was trying to figure out, how can I use this experience of going through what was one of the darkest times of my life to help empower other people. And so I started a nonprofit, which was called Big Sis and Company. And it was all about empowering women, but also about raising awareness to domestic violence. And so I was able to partner with, local companies. I started a mentoring program that was in two public schools in the area. I had a TV show that dealt with issues in the community, a local TV show. So that was awesome. And I did that for about 10 years. And then I was like, I need to reset, because I recognized that I was giving out so much that I hadn't quite healed from my own experience. And so I said, well, I'll just take a break and make sure that I'm mentally, emotionally, and spiritually aligned with where I need to be. Well, that turned out to be quite a many of years of just kind of stepping away from it, still doing volunteer work and things like that, but not primarily focused on that particular mission. And so the funny story of how it kind of woke back up is, a couple years ago, a couple of friends of mine were going through a really hard time, dealing with some loss of loved ones, and I wanted to do something creative to really help them feel better. And I'm a creative person, but I never really thought of myself as crafty. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just kind of do something crafty and to make a difference for them. So I decided to do these encouragement boxes. And what I thought is, I'll decorate the outside with their favorite scripture, their favorite motivational quote. So as soon as they look at that box, they will know this is my feel good place. And then as people send them cards and letters, they would be able to put those things in the box. So I did that. They loved it. They were crying. They were, oh my goodness, this is so good. And I was excited because I'm typically not a person who has a hobby. I'm always just working, busy, busy. So I was like, you know what? This is going to be my hobby. And so I went to work and I showed a couple of coworkers what I had done. And one particular coworker, I was like, this is my new hobby. You all been telling me to get a hobby. And he was like, Leeta, you need to start this as a business. And I was like, really? I don't even think of it as that good. Like, I was really just trying to help my friends out. He was like, no. So like a month went by of him like, did you start that business? And I'm like, no. He was like, okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't you just make a Facebook page and see what happens? Before I knew it, I was getting requests for encouragement boxes. I lost my loved one. My dog died. Like, I was getting all these requests for people
Mhm.
saying, "Can you make me a box? Oh, they're so cute, and I love that they're customizable." And so that's how Keep the Box came about. So that business has been doing really well. I make customized boxes for people who, for any occasion, any life occasion.
Now, Leeta, you do it by yourself, or you have a team of people that's helping you with packaging and mailing it out? How do you do that?
Myself. Obviously, my husband supports me, but ultimately, yeah, I do it all myself. Now, 2021, the goal is to get a team.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of enjoyed doing it, and really being able to focus on it. And that was going fine. It was still pretty manageable, but that itch inside to want to help women specifically never quite went away. And so I was getting so many requests for boxes to encourage, my homegirl is dealing with this. Can you put a box together to just uplift her? She's depressed. She doesn't value herself. And so initially, I made a My Natural Me box. And this box was just all little things that would make a woman feel good about herself, quotes on the outside,
Mhm.
products, because I partner with
Is
other.
it original quotes of your own or
It
quotes
would
that fits them?
be a combination. It would be a
A combination?
Yep,
Okay.
my own quotes, or if I just saw something that was really nice. And then I partner with other small businesses who make soaps, candles, journals, things like that, so that it really is that community feel. Like
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, somebody moved in the neighborhood and like the community would like give them gifts or welcome them. Like that's the feel I wanted. Like this is the community reaching out to this person saying, hey, feel good. And so that went over well, but then it was not enough. I was like, I really need to do more to help my women because, of course, as you do that and as you hear people's stories as they're ordering boxes and they're talking about, one person was like extremely depressed and this box like just changed her, like it gave her that feeling like I can do this. And I was like, I have to do more. So then I converted My Natural Me to its own brand and its own business. So now My Natural Me Woman is all about focusing on my mission, which is to honor, empower, and refresh. And that is what I want each woman to walk away feeling. And not only feeling it from what I bring to them, but also to know that they have within them the ability to honor themselves, to empower themselves, and to refresh themselves. So that is the My Natural Me mission. And then, of course, it's workshops. My books were really under that brand, products and things, all about helping women to feel that way.
Wow, that's remarkable. That's remarkable. So share with us what experiences in your life that actually led you to be in that stage where you want to empower women and also help them, like you said, honor and feel powerful and feel refreshed. So
Yeah.
what experience led you to get to that point in your own life?
Yeah, I mentioned it briefly about going through a domestic violence relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad that you kind of zeroed in on that because now it's something that I can say just like that, oh, I was in a domestic violence relationship, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is the effect that being in an abusive relationship had on me. I was in that relationship for 8 years. And when I got out of it, everything from I'll say homeless, even though I could stay with my family,
Mm-hmm.
but having to start over, not having my own, the mental effect it had that has lasted years, even though now, I empower women, I coach women, I do speaking engagements. I still am in therapy for dealing with the effects that being in that abusive relationship had on me.
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling of being lost, of not having your value, and recognizing the difference when I do feel my value and when I know who I am and when I feel empowered and honored and refreshed. That's what I want to help women with. That is what burns inside of me because I really want all women to know the power that they have and to know that
I agree.
even if you've been in these situations, no matter what your upbringing, no matter what, you still can start where you are and build yourself to feel honored, to feel empowered, to feel refreshed. And I will tell you, when you get there, when you have that, it's life changing. People say to me, how, I remember when you were depressed. I remember when you were in that dark space and just the blankness on your face. And that was for a number of years. And they say, what happened? What changed? You're so powerful now and strong and all of that. And I tell them it was the process of being okay with myself and respecting myself and loving myself and quiet
Mm-hmm.
voices that said I wasn't enough. it's life changing. So that's my goal and why I work so hard how to bring this to other women.
So that's your motivation.
That's my motivation. Yeah.
And you know that feeling of once you feel empowered. And the key word is when you love yourself and accept yourself who you are, you can move forward. And the great thing is, now there's a quote that says, when you are down and you could help somebody else, it shows your character. So when you were going through it, that horrible experience of being abused, did you find yourself still wanting to help others as well?
Yeah, yeah. And that's me anyway. Like I am that person who's that caregiver, that person that's always wants to help the underdog, so to speak. And I'll give a quick example. So during that time after I left the abuser, was starting over, extreme depression. I actually even got suicidal, which I talk about in my books. I was hospitalized on suicide watch. And
Wow.
show you like how, again what we're talking about. I will never forget. Somehow I'm in the hospital on suicide watch. The other patients were actually coming to me to get advice, and I will never forget. The nurse walked in the room, and I was having a group session with the patients while I
Oh,
was
that is,
watch. And then
that is,
pulled me aside and she was like, listen, I don't know you, but I can guarantee that this is probably why you're here. I am actually going to forbid you to help anyone else while you're here.
oh,
Was further confirmation. I'll tell you, I knew at that point, even though I was still in that place, that space, I knew that what I needed to do was to get stronger so that this is what I love to do. This is what is natural for me.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, when I get a little stronger, then I'll be able to do this more effectively rather than inside of a hospital.
And you've been doing that, right? You've been helping through your book, through everything you do. Now you said you're an event coordinator. So what
Mhm.
kind of events do you help coordinate?
Mhm. So basically, anything, again, I do a lot of workshops, and
Okay.
all kind of connected with the things that I do to empower people. So,
Okay.
all different types of workshops on just relationships and empowering yourself, and speaking engagements. Like last year, of course, before COVID and everything, we had a workshop that dealt with just, again, finances and how to, protect your legacy. So those are the type of events that I put together that I really focus on professionally, to really help, again, bring the community together to talk about some of these topics.
And empowering people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Always about empowering. Now, you mentioned that you are the author of two published books.
Mhm.
And I know one of them is about survival, a story of survival, celebrating a legacy of courage and resolve. Tell us about that book.
Yes, so it's so I just feel so good about that book because I never actually wanted to
That
be
was your first, that's your first book, right?
that first book.
Your
Yeah.
first baby you birthed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't, again, I wasn't really planning to be an author. But one of my mentors had really randomly mentioned, like, you have a book in you. And I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But that really planted the seed. And so many people know for about 3.5 years, my husband and I moved in with my grandmother, who was at the time 93.
Mm.
She was still really doing really well, but she just needed somebody there. And we were in the family, we were the ones in position to do that. So over that time, watching her, strong woman, strong Black woman, and very independent. But then in the last year that we were there, she fell and she had broken her pelvic bone. And she was devastated because when she went into the hospital, she's at what, 96 at that point, 95, 96. And they're like, you're probably not going to walk again. If you can't do your rehab and all that, and at your age, I mean, this is what they're telling her.
Mm-hmm.
Age is, it's we can't really do much. It's really going to depend on how well you do with physical therapy, and at your age, you probably won't be able to do it too well. So you may not walk again. When I tell you, This 96-year-old woman, and I would go visit her at the rehab place because she had to stay there for a month or so, and she would be struggling to just push herself up out of the chair, shaking, struggling. Several months later, this woman was back home, going through her physical therapy, walking, dancing. I've shared the video many times with people. She was dropping it low, honey.
At 96 years
At
old,
6 years old,
after her fall. Wow.
and that was what it really motivated me to write this book, because I was looking at her pushing herself, and I was like, you know, forget like how hard she's worked to position herself to own her own homes. Like she's over the years probably owned like 9 homes, have a nice little comfortable nest egg for herself. Forget all of that. I was watching her and I said, that strength, that grit, that determination, I see it in my mom. I see it in my aunt. And over the years, I'd heard various stories of things they'd gone through in life. And of course, I've seen my mom, single parent mother, cleaning theaters in the middle of the night to take care of.
Mm.
I've seen all that. But in that moment, I wanted to honor that legacy. And I literally just started writing that book, and it was just so empowering. Of course, I told my family what I was going to do, and I interviewed them, and they felt good being able to talk about their experiences in a positive light. My
Mm-hmm.
aunt was sexually assaulted, abuse victim herself, but to talk about it in a way of, this is what I survived and this is how I'm thriving now, it empowered them. And, I didn't know what the book would do. I didn't know how it would turn out. But when I started getting messages, responses, women thanking me for this book, women telling me that now they want to talk to their mom, their auntie, recognizing, you know what? I never thought about what they left me and what they went through as a legacy. I want to have a girls' night where we talk about this. Like, it generated conversation about the legacies that these other generations left us. And to me, that was just like the ultimate reward, and I was so happy with the turnout for that.
And how does one get that book? On your website?
On my website, it's also available on Amazon. So either one,
Okay.
definitely you can go to my website. Everything that I do, everything is always available on my website, which is my name, LeetaHarlem.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what advice have you given women who you're saying are right now in deep depression, especially now during this time of where you cannot really meet with people anymore, gather around? So, what advice do you give them, even young girls too, when they're in a relationship where it's not healthy, it's toxic? So,
Yeah.
what advice do you give them to help them try to get out of it or just overcome it and help them feel empowered themselves?
Yeah. And it's kind of twofold. So the first thing, my firm belief system is that everything starts with yourself and your perception of yourself in the world in which you live. So the first thing that I always try to do is help girls and women to see themselves in a positive light. Many women have had backgrounds and experiences that paint them, the vision they see of themselves isn't that they're not powerful, is that they're not strong, they're not confident. So my goal when I coach them, the girls that I coach, the women, is always about, let's change how you see yourself. Let's change some of the wording and the voices that tell you that you have to accept this behavior. And that's a lot what my second book is about. It's about understanding these messages that were sent either directly or just from circumstances that tell us that we don't deserve to have healthy relationships, or you know it's just so many things that as women that we accept and allow. I talk about how I was staying in an abusive relationship because it felt like love. As long as you're not leaving me, as long as you're not going anywhere, then that's enough for me. And I felt that way because the father figures in my life had all left. So it's understanding why you feel the way you do, why you see yourself the way that you do, and then beginning to change it, beginning to recognize, okay, what's my truth now? I remember feeling like, and my ex-husband, the abuser, when we divorced, one of the things he said is, well, no man can ever love you. And I believed that for years. And so I stayed in cycles of relationship that confirmed that. But recognizing my truth is men have loved me. There have been men that have loved me.
Mm-hmm.
My husband now loves me dearly. So recognizing to put the truth in there, try to undo those messages and really focus on what is truth. What is my truth statement? Who am I? That is the biggest message and biggest lesson that I work with women on, understanding that. And then when it comes to these toxic relationships and abusive relationships, I strongly, I'm very much an advocate for I have to speak on it. And, through my training of just dealing in domestic violence, I never tell a woman, oh, girl, you should leave that. Or, what I tell them is I am concerned for your safety.
Mm-hmm.
Behavior will most likely escalate to a dangerous point. That is what I tell them because, one, I never want to make a person who is a victim feel even more victimized by telling them what they should do. And as a person who lived it, you really can't leave until you're ready to leave. And that's a whole nother topic because people blame the victim and all of that. But ultimately, there are so many psychological reasons why people stay in those relationships. And when you point it very simply, I'm concerned for your safety, and this behavior will most likely escalate to a dangerous point, that tends to take the blame game and all of that away from it and just state the facts. And I have found in the years of dealing with domestic violence, that's been the most helpful advice. And I always encourage even family and friends, if they know someone that they're concerned about, don't go to them, oh, girl, you need to leave. And a lot of times they're going to put that defense up. But if you say it calmly that way, a lot of times work more effectively by just stating it that way.
Mm-hmm. One thing I don't know about you, when I watch the news or media, whatever you want to call it, it breaks my heart that we're still hearing about women, young girls, um, dying in the hands of another man.
Yeah.
All right. And it's like a cycle that keeps going on, and it's never ending. So it's great for women like yourself who are opening up your platform and trying to coach young girls, coach women in how to love themselves and feel empowered, and honoring themselves to refresh themselves. But it's like no matter how much or what we do, you still hear about it. So, I'm to the point now, I don't know about you, where I say, something, it's time to know how to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, you feel empowered inside, but also feel empowered for the fact that you could defend yourself if somebody were to approach you in the wrong way that you don't like. All right. Because I'm just sick of it where we women become powerless
Mm-hmm.
and these men take over us.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't have to be that way,
Yeah.
So it's to the point where it's not you coaching. And also you say, you know what, take a defense class.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. And not even just from a physical standpoint, but
Mm-hmm.
I have this even financially. There's
Yes.
a lot of women who end up stuck in situations because they have not protected themselves
Mm-hmm.
financially. So again, I definitely encourage women, set yourself up. And here's the thing where it all kind of goes together. If you feel powerful, if you feel confident in yourself, you are going to do those things, right? You're going to set yourself up in a position to succeed no matter who's in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much encourage women, whether that's physically, financially, emotionally, set yourself up to succeed. Set yourself
Right.
up to where, and again, I'm in a healthy marriage, but there are certain things that because of my experiences that even for me, it's like, I always am going to probably work. I'm always going to have my own income coming in because not that I necessarily have anything to worry about with my husband, but living in a situation where I didn't have my own money, where I had
Right.
to justify, you know, please give me $5 for this and explain
Mm-hmm.
why I needed it. those type of experiences make you say, I will never
Mhm.
allow myself to be in that situation, you know. And even in healthy relationships, anything can happen, right? The person can pass away, anything can happen. As women, let's be empowered. Let's make sure that we're not in a situation where if something happens, we just simply cannot take care of ourselves.
Mm. So are you having any up and coming online events happening to coaching women or?
Yes, so I'm glad you said that. This
Mm,
is for the first to hear my official announcement. So I have an event which I'm super excited about, and I'll start actually promoting it. But it's a two-part event actually,
okay.
and so it's basically my coffee and tea series because we love to drink coffee and talk tea. Is the
Mm-hmm.
and so the two-part event, virtual, the first event is actually the men. And so I have a men's panel in which they're talking about mental health and holding each other accountable. And I have,
Oh, I like that.
yes, I have four, maybe it's five men, all from different backgrounds, different age ranges that are talking about, and these are men that I know personally so that they it's believable because this is how they operate. They hold each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
They, if they're going through something, they pick up the phone and call the other person and say, hey, dealing with this, and then that person gives them, you know, their brother gives them that advice instead of saying, well, let's go get some drinks or let's go to
Mm.
the club or whatever, you know, all these toxic things that sometimes men do because they weren't taught how to talk.
Right.
Again, let's talk about this impacts the women, right? It impacts
Mm-hmm.
the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
This panel, I'm really excited about it. So that's actually going to be February 28th.
February 28th.
Yep. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll see the links there. And again, the link will be available on my website.
Okay.
So that's for the men's. It's a free event. There is
Okay.
a ticket, which I do encourage people to get the VIP because you get tons of gifts and you get a meet and greet with them in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but again, I wanted to make it to where it's open for anybody to be able to come and attend. So that's the first part of it. The second
Mm-hmm.
is with my ladies, and this is it's going to be in March, the March 7th, the first Sunday in March. It's all about how these women are changing the game, how they're creating
Okay.
history. Yes, and I love it. I have women. One of the women on the panel is a 74-year-old fashion model
Wow.
traveling the world, sister. Like, so I am super excited. This is going to be a really just encouraging for my men and my women to really help talk about some of these things and then to feel good about the things that we
Oh,
are
yes.
positive light. So that is, yes, that's coming up February 28th.
And March 7th.
Yes.
Exciting. I'm definitely going to hopefully, watch. Definitely. Just click on that link
Yep, exactly.
and you're
Yep.
at home watching it. Simple as that.
Simple.
Comfort in your home.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
you know, we see a lot of women events, but you know, I really feel honored that these men, you know, are going to talk about this on my platform.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of positive Black males that are actually talking about, first of all, depression and dealing with depression and being depressed and how they manage, but then the positive side of how they can help each other, how we as women can support them, because sometimes that's an issue too,
Mm-hmm.
but then how also what the community can do to help, you know, advocate for men who are dealing with mental illness.
Well, what I like what you mentioned with the men panel is they're going to help each other be accountable for their actions. And
Yeah.
that's what we have to do for women too. We got to be held accountable for our actions, what we say.
Yep.
So that's really that's good. That's
Yep.
good. You really hear that these days. People
Yes.
just get away with a lot of things. So
Yep.
no, you got to be held accountable for your actions. That's very good. So Leeta, so what's next for you besides the events? And another book in place, a third book? What's going on?
So 2021, a couple of things that are being.
What's your vision for 2021 for you?
Yes, yes. Well, my vision, I have a lot of things that I'm excited about happening. So there are three books coming in
In
2020.
2021. Wow, you're going to be really busy.
No. I like to stay that way. It's kind of weird. We have three books coming in 2021. I won't reveal just yet what they're going to be about. Well,
Okay.
One of them I will, because I have talked about it briefly. So in August, I actually had a miscarriage. And that was some
Oh, so sorry.
out of, and I've been through a lot. Like I mentioned, divorce, domestic violence, suicidal, all these things. That miscarriage topped them all. This was something that was just like, wow. Um, but again, me being, who I am and my passion, and I'm still dealing with it, as I started dealing with it and talking selectively to people, I've recognized once again, so many women have gone through this, so many women share
Mm-hmm.
their own experience, and that some very similar experience. I had a traumatic experience with the doctor who, was basically telling me, horrible things about the
Mm.
person, and was just very unempathetic in his.
Oh, that's horrible.
There's so many women that have gone through this, the same experiences with doctors, being, judged because maybe they were over 35 or they were this or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I said, I have to talk about this. I have to put this out there and give women permission to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
One of my books that's coming is called Empty Wounds, and it
Mm.
talk about the just my own experience of dealing with this, but then other women that have gone through it, and just give women that space to heal and talk about it. So many women felt like because the baby never was actually physically born, that somehow it wasn't at that they shouldn't be as sad or they shouldn't be as the person. Some people in the community help validate that feeling. So this book is really to give women the understanding, yes, that baby inside of you, that life, it was important, it mattered, and you deserve to grieve and suffer from that loss like anybody else would.
Right.
And then this is how we heal through it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the books that will be coming.
Out of the three, that's good. That's really good. And how about keep the box? What's going on with that?
Yes, so Keep the Box is still on and popping. My
Do you have a sample near you so you could show us?
actually, I you would think I do. Actually, I do. Hold that thought.
Yes, yes. Go get it. I should have told you to prepare that. Yes.
So this is actually one of my boxes.
Uh-huh.
And the nice part about this actually, just to kind of show you how some of the words, the motivation.
Uh-huh. That's on your website. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This particular one, I actually partnered with a couple organizations again to help women to feel good and to talk about. This one was about self-care, and
Mm-hmm.
it comes to like our breast, our body, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Mm-hmm.
feeling comfortable with making sure that you take care of that. So I actually have products in here. Now this is through my own line, if you can see.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so these are all about things to like you can have your little spa time. So that particular box is filled with that. It also I partnered with a woman who does intimate apparel. So I'll kind of just show like a little a little snippet.
Okay.
So that's what that particular box is for. And so I'm really I didn't get to push it as much as I wanted to because I was dealing with, my situation I have.
Right.
But I do plan to really start promoting that even more.
Now, how much would that box cost? If someone
This
wants to know.
box with the contents in it, I believe this is 75. It's
Okay.
on my website. I believe it's 75.
That's good. That's a nice box too. It's worth it. Yes.
Yes, exactly, because it has all of those things, and it also comes with a journal.
Nice. That's a good box to give to someone. I let me tell you something. I love what you're doing with Keep the Box. All right, the encouragement words, the quotes. To motivate people, women especially. And the way the box is set up,
Yeah,
and you just see somebody could call you, tell you what's it for, what's happening with the person,
yeah,
and you cater it to meet that person's need or to fit what they're going through. And you have all that in that one box.
yes,
Oh my God, that is a brilliant idea. Like your coworker told you in the past. And I'm glad you're still doing it because people need that.
yes,
Get that nice delivery from a friend who knows if a friend is going through something, encouragement of a loved one that they just lost,
Yeah.
or anything. That is excellent.
Thank you so much. And that's actually, I had someone ordered a box and they were like, my friend, she's really having a hard time, everything. She's kind of feeling isolated. She's by herself. She really likes beach themes, and they're like in upstate New York where it's really cold and everything. She was like, can you do something with a beach theme? So I created a beach themed box, and I had like these little miniature margarita glasses that have like
Wow.
yeah, so it makes it really nice, and I typically ship directly to the person, so it takes all the work out. Like, if you are like, oh, I really want to do something for them, but I don't really know what to do, you contact me or go on the website, order the box. And when you order the box that you see, everything there is you're not getting that box, you're getting the category, right?
Right.
Go there, you see the box you want, you order it, and then I send you an email directly after that, and we customize what it is you want on that box.
That is good.
And yeah,
That
people
is
love
good.
it.
Thank you for sharing, tech and sharing. Now, Leeta, I don't know if you ever watch my YouTube shows or no, but before I end the show, I always ask my guests to share their personal motivational quote with our viewers. So do you have a special one you'd like to share?
For today, what I want to share, and this is it's kind of my theme really for so far this year, right? To starting off. And it's I am enough. And just that simple. I am enough. And I'm so passionate. This is something I remind myself of. And this is something I'm so passionate for women to understand. You don't typically feel enough because you're comparing yourself to so many other people, so many other situations. Remove the comparison, look at where you are right now, and recognize I am enough. If you are here, if you're looking at this video, if you're talking right now, that means you survived. You survived whatever it was you went through, because you're here right now.
Mm-hmm.
You may still have some growing to do, some understanding, some changes to make, but you are a survivor. That is your truth. So recognize I am enough. That is what I want to leave with the viewers.
Thank you so much, Leeta Harlem, for being on my show and sharing a lot with us. And I know you're going to do a lot more and accomplish a lot more. And I cannot wait for your event on February 28th for the men, and then March 7th for the ladies.
Yes.
So tell us again where we could contact you or reach on your website. Can you please just tell us your website where they could order your boxes as well?
Absolutely. So it is www.lileetaharlem.com. So it's LILETTA Harlem, HARLEM.com. And everything is there. And then if for some reason you don't catch that, you can always catch me on my Facebook page or Instagram page, which is at My Natural Me Woman. So
at My Natural Me Woman.
Exactly. Yep. And of course, my Facebook page for the boxes is Keep the Box LLC.
Okay, good. Yep. You hear that, people? Yes. Yes. So I'm here to support you. As you know, that's what the WEMAG Show is about, supporting women who are definitely doing great things for other people.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having us. I love your energy. Okay. And I keep looking forward to what you have to say on your Facebook page, or quotes and everything, what you share with everyone. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead and enjoy your day.
All right.